you are not going to believe the flat DR on this unit. This unit is a stat king, an analysis enigma. And we're going to get into that and what is good about that and what is bad about that, because there are definitely some pluses and minuses there. But let's jump right in and look at the amazing thing that Diamant does, which is survive. First off, the art is spectacular, and we expect nothing less. Like, the art recently has just been so good from all of FEH, and he's killing Neathogre, and this is actually one of my big complaints is the color. Having arch rival like this and being green, there aren't a whole lot of blue threats that I really want to be going up against. Most of them are red. So, but we've talked about that. Arch rival itself is still good. Let's get to Fortified Axe. Fortified Axe has Slaying, and at the start of turn, if unit's HP is greater than 25%, which is most of the time, you get Bulwark, Null Penalties, Follow-Up Denial, and Phantom Res plus 10 to unit and allies within 2 spaces. Sorry, that's not Phantom Res. That is Frost. So that is the speed check gets a plus 10 onto it. Then you get at start of combat if foe initiates or if unit's HP is greater than 25%. For in-combat buffs, you get an Omni 14. For true damage, you get a max of 25. For flat DR, you get a max of 25. And for max DR against specials, you get 15. And then you get special acceleration plus 1, which is nice. Then you get restores 7 HP if unit deals damage. And I've got a note on here because this is most of the conditionals. It's dependent on bonuses on this unit and the foe. The exception is the in-combat bonuses depend on how many allies in 3 rows, 3 columns. So it's really easy to meet these full conditions. So most of the time, those are going to be at max. Let's continue on here. So we have Arch Rival, and we've seen this. The thing we keep talking about is you aren't completely optimal if you aren't going against a unit that you have weapon triangle advantage against. But that doesn't mean this is bad. Like, you're still getting a boosted damage of 70%. You also get just a 40% damage reduction. It's unconditional. The only thing you don't get is the scowl effect, which is, I mean, that's pretty powerful. So that is unfortunate. This unit doesn't really need it. So we'll talk about that in a second. I think this unit is going to survive regardless. Let's go with the rest of the kit. Moving on, we have D bonus amp, and this is new. Unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. Now, this is distant bonus amp. I was really hoping this would just be bonus amp, like attack speed prime, but it's not going to be usable by both, ranged and melee units. Then you get and most of the time, Omni plus 8 to stats, which is nice. Like, that's pretty fantastic just to get an Omni plus 8, and particularly good for units like this. So the downside, I am looking, this is infantry only, and it's only for melee infantry. So actually dragons and beasts can use this, which is, I mean, that's unheard of. They let them have something. That's just crazy. So we get to fair fight, and things get a little more interesting. So if a bonus is active on foe or unit's defense is greater than foe's defense, unit attacks twice. And at the start of combat, inflicts attack speed defense -5 on foe. You get a true damage of 25% of unit's defense, flat DR of 25% of defense, a flat DR of this. On the second hit, you get a flat DR of 50% of this unit's defense. If you're looking at round numbers, and I have in the damage calculations, I have a little more detail than this, but always, if you're looking at this, you generally want to round up to 100. I will say on this, the effective defense is a little lower just on this kit, and it's at 83. So if you're trying to quick calc that, you can round to 100 and then just, compensate that way. But I'll have the full analysis on that in just a second, and that is a ton. Now, I believe what that means if someone has a brave attack against this unit, the first hit gets 25%. The second hit gets the 50% reduction. So that's brave wise. So brave has 2 hits. First one 25, second one 50. That is incredibly powerful. There are so many units that rely on brave hits to really get things done, and that's when a special is going to go off. And For that, you're going to have just an enormous amount of flat DR. That is just absolutely crazy. So, DR piercing, excellent. You get null follow-up, and then you get a plus 20 to the amount of speed a unit needs to actually double. So, altogether, if you're counting, you need to have 35 more speed than this unit. So this is a quick calc based on the kit we have here, and that would mean you need around 93 speed in order to double. This is actually doable in this meta. There are units that hit that highest speed, so this is not just an absolute speed demon, but you can also buff that up. Like that is something. Combine that with no follow-up, and it just, that is a pain. And then you get a preempt pulse of 2, which that is crazy. Yeah. Okay, let's go back to this. And past that, we have Brutal Tempest, which is, it's okay. I think you'd be looking for something else here eventually just to see what other things they give. But the role, and we'll talk about this is really more in the Byleth role that they're looking at using this unit. Let's talk about that in just a second, though. I really want to switch over. We've talked about stats and stats and stats. I want to look at the analysis here and just show you guys how ridiculous this unit is. So, I apologize. I did not think these last couple of banners would just blow out my flat DR scale. So that needs to be redone, and I'll be taking care of that as soon as we have enough time to breathe after all of these Braves. But 55 flat DR, and that's on the first hit. The second hit, it's 75 flat DR. And it's not like Baldur's that, at least, you know, if you don't have weapon triangle advantage, then it's a lot lower. He just gets that. Like, as long as there are bonuses on folks. That is nuts. True damage of 45 is very respectable, and this unit is going to be doubling a lot. And so you're going to regularly be getting that for 4 hits, and that's very good. You got boosted damage of 80 with Arch Rival, which, if you see the unit under there, like, this used to be like the thing that I held up was Thor, who has reflect damage, and that's what Thor was getting standard. And now you get this just through a special with Diamant. This is ridiculous. Let's talk about the downsides. So, the thing I keep comparing this unit to is Byleth. The Byleth we just got. And Byleth has a little bit lower on all of these. I believe a little bit higher on true damage, 53 true damage, and on the flat DR, it's like in the high 30s, and boosted damage, like it's in the high 50s. So you can see just like a little lower on most of these other than true damage. The thing that you're going to look at is this unit has bulk, but doesn't have the same range. And this is something that I know DTM harps on this all the time. Like, that is probably the most important thing you can have to be a good nuke, is having good range. What that means is this unit is going to be an okay nuke. The thing you're really going to be looking at this unit as is a frontliner, and in the same mold as BK. The one thing is this unit doesn't have save, so that's going to be, yeah. That is always the downside of being an infantry unit. You don't get some of those nice armor skills, but this is still very, very good, and this unit is going to be incredibly hard to kill. I am not looking forward to it, and you possibly want Arch Rival on then a red unit in order to take this unit out, which is the most popular build on Male Byleth, just so you know, the Brave version. That is something you should be looking at, and I think that is an interesting piece here. Is this unit going to be a good Omni tank? It is very, very difficult to be a good Omni tank right now. The short answer is yes. The way this unit is set up, he can function on his own. The way his bonuses work, everything should work that way. But just understand that the hard thing about being an Omni tank is it's so easy to get around you. And that is the case in both Summoner Duels and in Aether Raids. That is difficult. This unit has Bulwark, so that helps out and makes it more difficult, but not impossible. And we go back to Byleth, units like that, where that unit can come right up in front of this unit and then be able to snipe a unit 3 spaces away, which is standard for any support and where they're going to sit. So it's going to be interesting. I am looking forward to seeing how people use this unit. I do think this unit is going to be a good Omni tank. This unit is a fantastic Omni tank in an archetype that is devalued. This unit is an amazing frontliner, and that archetype is very much valued right now. If you think about this unit on Aether Raid's defense, for instance, would be fantastic and very hard to kill. If you think of the old corner Fallen Edelgard strategy, the new version is actually to switch that unit and move that unit up front, hence melee frontliner. And you still have the saves. This unit hits hard enough that it's still going to be an excellent contributor in that way. But yeah, the big question, I don't even know for this role, like if you're worried about if this unit can survive cam. I do think this unit survives cam situationally, which is more than I can say for a lot of units. We have about 2 weeks left for the Best Brave merchandise. If you want to rep your favorite, I cannot wait to get my Sharena shirt in. Go check that out in the store, but let's get back to Diamant. Let's look at tier lists and really, sometimes it helps to see where I'm looking at this unit. So as far as the Earth rankings go, we'll hit those first. I really think this unit is behind Sakura. And the thing is, Sakura is just so universally good right now. I have a hard time seeing her fall behind. Like, she is just an incredible unit. Diamant is still very good. Keep in mind, being in the same tier as Sakura is a big deal. And I kind of glossed over all of the support that this unit is giving out to other folks. Like, Bulwark, we've seen, is incredibly annoying and can be a good stopgap if you don't have a save. Null penalties is very good, and giving out that increased speed to have a follow-up is also very, very good. You're just giving that out to your allies. That's fantastic. So this unit has good support. It's just not Sakura levels of support. Like, Sakura is ahead of her time. Diamant is at the forefront, if that makes sense. But there's some other things to talk about in this. I didn't love Nana's Refine, but if you combine the Refine with all of the skills that we've gotten for Cavs, I do have her in tier 1, and I think she does have a place in the meta. If you look at Faye, we had a discussion, and so despite what a lot of folks tell you, dragons have actually gotten a lot of really fun things, and combine that with the inherent miracle that also restores your health, this unit can really make a difference. And there's a lot of different skills that you can put on her. So combination of a refine that has gained value and things that the meta has given to her, it makes a good unit, especially if you're, again, just putting her in that melee frontliner role. She can really do some damage there. Now, Alm and Julia. The thing is, both of these units get a fair amount of true damage, but both of them are held a little bit back by their specials, actually. If you replace those with some of the newer ones, I think these units are very good. And tier 2 good. Keep in mind, I'm not saying they're at the forefront of anything, but I do think that you can outfit them and really do some damage. I wish they had gone a little different way with Julia, but they didn't, and it's okay. Both of these units are good though. Tier 2 is good. Tier 3 is where we get to, they can work, but they're harder to make function. You need a team to support them. Alir requires people around him in a meta that punishes that severely. They really come down on you for that. I do think it's possible we see a rebound for this unit. So just keep an eye on him. Tier 3 is not amazing, but it's also not the dregs. Same thing with Robin. Robin is just okay. And I have him in Arena, and I have him as my my duochrome. So he has the Micaiah ring, he, swaps places with people and he gets another action, and he has a little bit of bonus. It's usable. Same thing with Claude, and Claude hurts me. He just got his refine like a couple months ago, but they didn't give him any true damage in his weapon, and he absolutely needed that. So that's unfortunate. We then go down to tier 4, and we have my boy Seliph, who... Oh, Seliph. I don't know what to say about you, Seliph. They just haven't given Cavs enough things. They absolutely haven't, so he's not really going to be able to survive much. Maybe if you stack enough support, you can put together a scam showcase, and it's kind of the same thing with Julia. Like that's kind of where we're at with both of them. But you can still do a scam showcase with them. The last one in tier 4, I do actually have Ike. So, I mean, Ike isn't... We're at tier 4. Like, I'm not saying this unit is amazing, but I think this unit can be outfitted better than the other 2 units in tier 5. He's at the tail end. Like, he's barely clinging on, which is okay. That's not a bad place to be. But I've recently seen some really nice builds with the Nullsia Void from Byleth and a couple other things. I think you can make this unit work. It just tier 4 work, not, tier 1 work. And tier 5, we have the dragons, and what do you do with Tiki and Robin? They're hurting. That's bless you, especially like probably if I had a tier 6, I would have put Robin down there. Like, it's tough to use Robin right now. So that's where we're at. Moving on though, because we want to talk more about Diamant. This is the melee frontliners, and this is where I think of this unit. Now,
I'm begging you.
Keep in mind that we have about 5 minutes to do these things. Like keep that in mind. That's how long we have to put these together before we're putting this thing out. So I want you to put that in mind. There are still things that we're discovering, but I really like him in tier 0. Keep in mind, there's a lot of these where there's a huge gap between tier 0 and tier 1. There's not here. I really like Eikthenir, and I really like Byleth. Like these are excellent units. So don't think that these are bad because they're in tier 1. Tier 1 is very good, and tier 2 is actually very good as well with Marth, who has definite counters but still is usable. And same thing with Rhea, who is showing her age, but again, tier 2 on this list is excellent. And then we have Machua, who is better than you think. So be careful running into her. She is bulkier than you think, and if you don't have the proper counters, she can get you. And then tier 4, we have kind of the stock folks with Neitha Valir and Hector, which is weird to think of Neitha Valir as a tier 4 melee frontliner in this meta, but things move fast, right? So, Diamant, let's go back to him. I just want to touch on the fact that this is a very good role to have right now. There was a time where this wasn't a very valuable position, but I do think you can do a whole lot with Diamant in this role. You notice I don't have him ranked as an Omni tank. I didn't prepare that list, and I don't think in the meta that's worth looking at this moment. So I'm waiting to see how folks use this unit, but I do think as a melee frontliner is where this unit absolutely shines. We have distant counter on a lot of melee frontliners right now because they are actually taking ranged hits as well. The whole deal is they are absorbing damage. BK is excellent at that. Eikthenir is excellent at that. Byleth is okay at that, but he makes up with it with just incredible range. And so that's kind of the pluses and minuses that you're looking at. The thing I want you to take away from this is an incredibly good unit. But again, forefront, edge of the meta, not next gen. When you think of next gen, think of Camilla, think of Sakura, think of BK. Those are the next gen types of units. And honestly, if I might have even put him over BK if he had some sort of reflex support, because that would have been nutty. But as is, you have to outsource that from either Ingrid or BK. That is where we're sitting. This is a very good unit. Okay, so we want to talk about what to summon on here. So we were not all in agreement on this when it comes to third and fourth place. What we are in agreement on is first place is very good. All of these units are good. Like I actually, Fallen Female Lear is still an excellent far save and a good unit, has excellent support. You've got, I still really like the Lin Ring. It has lost some value, but it's still very, very good. And then of course you've got Diamant, which is the newest thing and I personally really want a single copy. In second place, you've got Red. Erica and her ring are still good. We're starting, I think we've seen the next generation of damage output, and it's going to leave Erica behind a bit, but that's, I mean, what do you do? As far as, and I know we didn't talk too much about Omni tanks, I do think that this Aleer is the best one. That's the Fallen Male Aleer is very good, and Noir has amazing fodder. Attack Speed Hex Edge is one of the best A skills in the game. Just excellent. So that is there. Okay, third, fourth place. Totally depends on what you want. And the point that was brought up by CJ actually is that if you already have Larother, there's no real point in getting another one. And even if you need Micaiah, it drops that down to fourth place. If you don't have Larry, then that third place. Like this is a very good lineup. Lena is okay. Lena's okay. She's not bad enough to drop this down, but she's also not the unit that you're just screaming for, right? Fourth place. See, this is almost another one like that, but I do like merges on emblem units. Like getting an extra stat point is not a bad thing. It's not the most amazing thing, but it's not a bad thing. Celica Ring is still good. Sigurd Ring is still good. Both of those are excellent. And Dedue is sneaky good. I have a lot of fun with Dedue. Now, again, this is vying for third and fourth place. The big thing I want you to take away is this is a really good banner. There's not really a bad color. A lot of times what we're seeing is like a dump color, and this banner doesn't have it. All of these are good. So if you need one of these units, I think you're in good shape. But yeah, green is going to be a lot of fun to summon on, because even if you don't get Diamant, I think you're going to get some excellent fodder, and I mean, yeah, it's going to be good. So I'm going to direct you this time to Oblivion's latest video, and he's out a little bit late with his analysis for the CYL units, but that is because he spent a ton of time digging into builds and actual teams with actual footage, and it is excellent analysis because Oblivion always gives excellent analysis. I want to make sure it gets attention because it was out late. Go check that out. Members, you are so amazing, and the live that you guys helped me out with was incredible. Thank you guys for all that you do. Take care and schedule an appointment with your FEHologist real soon.